Ready down here?
Yes, we're
Yes. Guys, ready
recording.
down here?
Control secretary, ready?
Ready? Yep.
The following is the agenda for the regular council meeting of the Borough of Compton Lakes, Mayor and Council Municipal Corporation in the County of Passaic. The meeting will begin at 7:30 PM on November 9th, 2022 in the Municipal Building, 25 Lenox Avenue, Compton Lakes, New Jersey, consistent with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. The meeting will be open for public comments and shall be in accordance with terms and conditions of the borough's municipal code and bylaws.
Thank you. Please stand for a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Polidori.
Here.
Councilman Bay.
Here,
Councilman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman DeLine.
Here.
Councilwoman Kent.
Here.
Councilman Bennon.
here.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney Mark Zamarro and our Borough Administrator Paula Cosarelli.
Okay, thank you. Under my updates, I just want to congratulate Council President Polidori and Councilman Begg on their win yesterday for election. We're excited to have you both on, and if you'd like to say any words at this time, I'll be more than happy to let you say something. You want to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone who voted number one. And that's an important thing to do. And also to thank those who voted for me. I appreciate their fact that they did it, and I thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank everyone for their support. I look forward to continuing the good work that we're doing up here. And I thank the rest of the members of the dais for their support as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, could I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment?
So moved.
Councilman DeLine, Council President Polidori, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Please step up.
Randy Hinton, 443 Montclair Avenue. As a member of the opposite aisle, I want to congratulate Council President Polidori on her victory and Senior Member Bill Begg on his victory.
Thank you.
Congratulations to
Thank
both
you
of you.
very much.
Look forward to working with the two of you again.
Thank you, Randy.
Just a question on Resolution 22-237.
22-237.
Number one.
Okay. This is for, well, we'll get, when we get to it, we'll bring it
Okay, and Resolution 22-241,
241.
number 5. I
Okay.
hate to see that.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up to him.
Appreciate it, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the meeting for public comments?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Council President Polidori, Councilman Begg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approval of minutes, the motion to approve the following minutes, regular meeting minutes, October 26, 2022. Closed session meeting minutes, October 26, 2022. Can I have a motion? Who was that?
Me.
Councilman DeLine? Can I have a
Second.
Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Bills and claims. Motion to approve the following bill list as stated below.
So moved.
Councilman DeLine?
Second.
Was that Councilman Bennett? All in favor?
Aye.
Against. Consent agenda. We're going to discuss 1 and 5, I'm sorry, 22-237 and 22-241. Does anybody else need anything else removed? Okay, seeing no one?
Whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Compton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, where the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Compton Lakes does desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda now, therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. We're going to remove Resolution 22-237 and 22-241.
Okay, let's take Resolution 22-241 first. Kevin Carroll has decided to fulfill his retirement completely, and that's why he's stepping down. He had put in a lot of time, and he's reached a point where he just wants to enjoy his life, so that's why he's retiring.
Good man.
He's a good man, and we're going to miss him, and he did a great job for us here in the borough, and he does a good job. So we thank him for all his service. And then the road opening escrow amount is for them to do a needs study with the redevelopment agency. They have to pay for that, so that's the escrow to do that.
That's not what that
No,
says.
no,
What-
I know what that's for.
Okay, I'm
They
sorry.
did a road opening, and in order to do a road opening, they have to put up certain escrow. They put up professional and restoration. The year has come, the road opening has been inspected, the engineer said it could be released, and this is what's remaining of the escrow and of their restoration.
Oh, so they just did a road opening for their curb or their
No,
driveway?
I believe that
Sewer and
was for
water.
sewer
Sewer and water
connection.
lines.
There was a road
Okay.
opening.
Okay. Okay, any other discussions on those two? Okay, those two, Liz.
Thank you.
So do you want me to do a roll call, or you can do all in favor?
We'll do it all in favor on all of them.
Okay.
Motion to approve the resolutions.
So moved.
Councilman Begg?
Second.
Councilman Bennett? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, Liz, when you're ready, ordinance 2220.
Okay. Ordinance 22-20, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-44.1, Pond Hole Parking Lot Regulations in the Municipal Code of the Borough of Compton Lake.
Motion to approve ordinance 2220 for introduction.
Motion.
Councilman Bennett, Councilman Cruz. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Councilman Begg.
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilman Deline.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Second reading, this has been advertised and posted. Ordinance 22-19, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 730 Speed Limits of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Compton Lakes to add a speed limit sign for the Pond Hole parking lot.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 22-19.
So
Moved.
Wow. I'm going to go with Councilman Begg and Councilman Cruz. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting for public comments on ordinance 22-19.
So,
Council President Polidori?
Second.
Councilman Cruz? All in favor?
aye.
Motion to approve ordinance 22-19 for final adoption.
So moved.
Councilman Begg?
Second.
Councilman Deline? Roll call, please.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Councilman Begg.
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilman Deline.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Under my report, I'll start with some sad news. Everyone has to be informed that the passing of Jane Kircher, but you might not know who she is, but she played our Mrs. Santa for many years in our holiday stroll. She would be sorely missed, not just for that, but for many reasons. She also owned the repair shop downtown for many years, and it's unfortunate to hear that she passed away. I attended a awards dinner for Gene Hoffman from Columbia Bank, a well-deserved award, in my opinion. Columbia Bank is one of those banks that their platform is what they can do to help the community. That's how all their banks are, not just our local one. And they honored, it was a large group, and they honored some of the outstanding people that have worked well in their communities. And Gene Hoffman in our local branch here was one of the people honored for all the work he's done. And I can tell you, for all the years that I've been involved here in town, we could always count on Columbia Bank to help us in anything. We go back to the floods, there were times where they were buying washers and dryers and just handing them out to residents. Anytime an organization goes to them, they're always there to help. If every bank was like that in the community, it would be a great help. So I have to thank Columbia Bank, and especially Gene Hoffman, for winning that award. It means a lot to this community, and I'm sure it means a lot to himself. I attended the 110th anniversary of the library. The library is now 110 years old. They did a great ceremony. with a nice cake that had the picture of the library on it. The Friends of the Library, which is a very active group, was involved in the whole thing, and they really are doing a great job. I got to give credit to the library board and the Friends of the Library. They're really trying to do their best to raise funds to help to offset some of the costs that happen in our library. We have a beautiful historic building, but with the historical building comes a lot of issues with the building itself, and they're trying to address that. So it was a nice ceremony, and a lot of things worked out well there. We did have our COVID and flu vaccine on Friday. I heard it was well attended last Friday. There were a lot of people there, actually more for the flu shot than there was for the COVID, but there were people there from the COVID, and the flu is still out there. You know, we hear about it on the news all the time, that the flu is still going to be a strong flu season this year. So the recommendation is to get your flu shots, and that is my report. Council President Polidori.
Thank you. I want to thank all the members of the community that came out tonight for our Veterans Day ceremony, and to wish and thank all of our veterans for the upcoming Veterans Day holiday. I also would like to offer my condolences to the family of Jane Karcher. She was a long-time member of this community. Pompton Electric has been here for a very long time, and an active member of our Rotary and our BID. She will be missed. I, along with 3 other of our local businesswomen, served and sponsored the most recent free community dinner at the Pompton Reformed Church. It is a wonderful thing that they do there. It was a well-attended event. The food was delicious, in part contributed by the church, and some of the local eateries sent some food as well, so I was happy to participate in that. We did host our last coffee with the council for the year, so thank you for everyone that came out to see us that night. It was at Cafe 506 again. We had some food while we were there. I suggest everyone tries the restaurant. The food is amazing, and hopefully we'll continue that into next year. I also attended a few Rotary meetings since we were last here, and continue to work with Rotary on the project that we talked about on the property of the VFW, along with Jean Hoffman, Columbia Bank, and the Women's Club. Actually, Jean was able to get Dave from DMK to come down on a last minute with Paul was there as well. We had some members of the community come out. They were able to finish excavating all of the roots, so they are ready to put the fall bulbs in now for next spring. It really is amazing to see the kids participating in clearing out this plot of land and getting it ready for planting. It's been very interactive, and they are still welcoming donations of supplies, mulch, soil, bulbs. They suggest if you would like to come in and actually help, Tuesdays and Fridays between 8:45 and 11 a.m. Is the best time to lend a hand if you're interested. Also, the assistant coached my last soccer game for the year, so I want to congratulate all of the students on another season well played. Looking forward to seeing everyone out on the fields again next year. And I also, because we will not be meeting again until December, want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. I look forward to seeing all of you at the holiday stroll. And then I just had 2 quick questions for Paula. I know we talked a little bit about RFQs. Are they up? Are they going up?
I'm working on them. They should be up tomorrow on the website. So any professionals interested in submitting one should go to our website and submit.
Okay, perfect.
I haven't determined the due date yet.
Okay.
That'll be on the RFQ.
Thank you. And then, I guess it's been a few weeks now, we sat down and we had a meeting regarding some of the funding that was coming in. Are we going
For
to?
the PAL.
Yes, the
Oh.
PAL for the ARP.
Yeah, I put in, so Dan is looking into the cost of those things, but I'm sorry.
Okay, and just some of the other open-ended items we had from the meeting that we had for the ARP. Are we going to follow up? Can we sit down again and?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay,
I think we should. I think we made some good progress, but we really need to determine, we pretty much determined the capital budget,
okay.
but we really need to figure out what we're gonna do with those other ones.
Maybe in the next couple weeks we can?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And that is it? Thank you.
Thank you. And you reminded me for Thanksgiving, I was called for last week. Meridian, the developer of this building, is donating 50 turkeys to the town. I've worked out with the vets and the veterans and the Reformed Church and St. Mary's to try to donate all 50 of those turkeys to whoever can take them and use them. We're going to start with any veterans that are looking or would like to have a turkey, and then from there, give them to the kitchen, so St. Mary's Kitchen and Reformed Church. We'll try to hand some out. If any council knows of someone in need, just please reach out, and we'll see what we can do to help them.
One of our veterans from the Elks reached out and asked if there was going to be anything for the vets. I think she talked to Jean last night. Maybe we can set something up where they can be distributed for the veterans, because they
Yeah,
were
I
looking
spoke
for
to Gene.
something.
They're not doing a dinner, which is what they did last year. He said that some of the issues we're having, the vets, unfortunately, and I agree with this, by the way, and I'm going to talk to Meridian about it. And it's such a nice gesture to offer 50 turkeys, but to some people, taking a frozen turkey is a difficult thing to deal with. And maybe they should offer gift cards, because some of the vets didn't want to take a frozen turkey and be responsible for keeping it and putting it in the freezer and cooking it. But they were looking for some help. So I'm going to speak to them and see if we can work out a different thing. But if you know a vet who was interested, please reach out
I'll
to Gene
see
or myself.
If she had a couple that would be willing to. Turkeys are hard because there's not many food pantries that have the ability
Correct.
to store them, and then once they start to thaw, other pantries can't take them.
And that's the
So-
problem, and that's where Jared Luciani is going to help us. He's got some room in the football freezers. The Reformed Church has a walk-in freezer, they can hold some. The VFW has a walk-in freezer, they can hold some. So we're hoping to get rid of most of them if we
We'll
can.
see if we can put some at the Elks too.
What else do you have?
Do we know if any of the equipment is still left from Parkview? Because they had a huge freezer in the back as well. I don't know if the owners would be, all
They're shut down and out. I think they're
Everything?
clearing out, yeah.
right.
Okay. Councilman Begg. We're going to skip Councilman Begg tonight. Councilman Cruz.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have a Board of Ed report for tonight. It was canceled or rescheduled for the election. For the Rec Committee, we have just a few reminders for everyone. We got the holiday stroll. This is going to be Saturday, December 3rd. It's going to be on Wanacue Avenue from 4:30 to 8.
Can I just jump in there, Bob?
Yeah, okay.
This is the first time they're doing this. There is no rain date on that. So
Okay.
if it is canceled due to snow or rain, the event is canceled,
Okay.
just so everybody knows.
No, won't stop.
It stopped it before.
Not what I'm involved.
The next item, we have the drive-through sale. It's one day, Saturday, November 19th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. only. Pompton Lakes High School parking lot, enters from Lakeside Avenue, form 2 lanes. Pay 100, get 150. No cash, use checks only, made payable to PL bid. And I know I have a couple more here still. Next one is going to be Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots train rolls into Pompton Lakes Saturday, December 10th. That's going to be from 1:15 to 1:50. One Station Plaza drop-off location is in town. Borough Pompton Lakes, I believe you have this on the agenda, Mayor, for the Dog and Cat Free Rabies Clinic. That's going to be Saturday, November 12th, which that already passed. No? Yeah, that already passed. Breakfast with Santa. This is going to be Saturday, December 10th. That's going to be at the Pompton Lakes Elks. For seating information, first session is 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Second session, 10:30 a.m. till noon. Ticket info and pricing will include breakfast buffet, photo with Santa, Santa souvenirs, live music. 14 and up is $20. Ages 4 to 13, 12. Ages 3 and under will be $10. And lastly, we have our Dear Santa. Don't forget to drop off your letter, Santa's mailbox, located at the Borough Hall lobby, and get a return letter from Santa. The mailbox is open until December 16th, so we can get ready for Christmas. And just for everybody, you can find all this information online. You're on Facebook or Instagram. They do publish a lot of this information to remind the public of all the events that are occurring this month and next month as well. And that'll do it for my report, Mayor.
Thank you for the new residents watching at home. Toys for Tots is a big program for us. What time is that again, Bob? Was it 12? Or, Tim, do you know?
I have it here.
1:15 to 1.
It's 1:15 to 1:50, Mayor.
So 1:15 to 1:50, a train will pull into town at the train station. The Marines come in, it's a big deal. We have hot chocolate and things, and we try to fill a train of gifts for kids. So if you have unwrapped gifts that you're looking to buy, there's many drop-offs in town at stores. We have a drop-off here, is that correct, in the Borough Hall? And then we will bring them all over to the site. You can also show up on that day between those times, help us load the train and bring any gifts you'd like. We're usually one of the bigger stops for the train that goes through a bunch of towns, so we like to keep that going. So please keep the word going out that we're looking for gifts. A lot of the businesses in town really take part in this and really start collecting a lot of gifts. It's a really nice event, and, it's a nice time for everybody to be had, so pass the word on that, so it's an important one. Councilman Deline.
Thank you, Mayor. Haven't actually had any meetings since the last council meeting, but I did want to extend my congratulations to Council President Polidori, Councilman Bagg, our new school board electees, and everyone who won the election. Interesting enough about this, I happened to wake up that morning, and I wanted to wake up, and I was watching the lunar eclipse, and I got up at 4 a.m. and I was outside and kind of lost the view from my house, and I drove over to the middle school, and I'm sitting in the middle school parking lot. It's 5 a.m. It's about the time that the eclipse is actually happening, and all of a sudden I start noticing all these people coming into the middle school parking lot at 5 a.m. And I'm like, why is anyone driving into the middle school parking lot at 5 o'clock in the morning other than me being an idiot because I want to see the lunar eclipse? And as I was leaving, it dawned on me that, these are poll workers, not volunteers, but poll workers arriving at their poll location at 5 a.m. And they're there until at least 8 p.m. when the polls close. And it was kind of remarkable because you don't get to see it. You're in the poll, you're out within 5 minutes tops, but these people are here the entire day, and that's how early they get there. So I did want to acknowledge that. So after I had seen that, I decided, against my better interest, I decided to go running. And I ran by Municipal Hall and knocked on the window where Liz has her back towards me, which is, in retrospect, maybe not the best.
Yeah, I heard you scared
her.
somebody.
I scared the bejesus out of Liz. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and and she came around, and we talked about the poll workers being there at 5 a.m. Liz was there. We talked about it. I asked specifically. 5 to 5, up at 3:15 in the morning, getting ready for anything that could go wrong at the polls. So again,
We had a great day. The poll workers were fabulous.
it was, it takes quite the effort to run an election in Pompton Lakes, and I did want to take the time to acknowledge that because I got to see it to a degree that morning, but I think most people don't realize how long of a day it is for people to step up and do that. Sunday, November 27th is Trails Maintenance Day. That's at 10 a.m. That's one of our sort of winter or late fall trail maintenance days. We meet at Willow Field, the back parking lot of Willow Field. Typically by then, it's not a whole lot of pruning, a lot of garbage cleanup as we needed. And then wanted to acknowledge my fellow veterans, especially Councilman Bagg. Thank you once again, Pompton Lakes putting on the Veterans Day ceremony. I continue to reiterate that these kind of things and acknowledgements towards our veterans, towards September 11th, for all of these things, is what makes Pompton Lakes the community that it is, because we do take pride in tradition. We do acknowledge the kind of things that are important to our community and our country. And so, again, even as a quick ceremony to move things along because it's starting to get chilly. It is important to continue these traditions. I just wanted to take that time and thank everyone for that. And lastly, I do want to give my condolences to Jane Karcher. Again, I think most people know her as Mrs. Santa. It's a horrible loss for the community. She has been another institution among the community, and my condolences to her family. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
I have two problems with your report. One, you got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to look at the moon, and then after that decided to go for a run. Both of those two things are just not correct. But I agree 100% on what you're saying but we happen to have a good. I voted here in the municipal building. They were a great team of people in and out. They did a great job at the end of the day, and we're lucky to have that. I mean, we're lucky to have no problems in our area, and I thank Liz and Kathy for helping to do that. Councilwoman Kent.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm one of those crazy poll workers, and I've been doing it for about 8 years now, 8 or 9 years. And yeah, it is an incredibly long day. And it's interesting because this year was probably one of the first years that, with the new computer system, I have to tell you, last year was a little bit wonky.
Wow.
It was new, so you knew you were going to have problems, which we did. But this year they really did work out all the kinks for the most part, and we had some very good poll workers, technicians that came and helped, and we did have a couple issues. And I do want to thank Liz and the staff are doing, they have everything ready for us, and we pick them up and drop them off at night. And it is a late night, and you only get 1 hour like lunch, and you just basically go crazy. But it's wonderful to meet everyone and to see everyone, and I have to be honest, the first year that people actually thanked us. There was a number of people who thanked us for our hard work, and I was, taken back by that, because, they realize the dedication that it takes. So it's not an easy job, but I want to thank you for recognizing that. Our DPW, I just want to, I didn't get a formal report, but I have to tell everybody, please don't depend on social media to figure out when to put your garbage out, okay? The office puts out a beautiful calendar. And please look at the calendar for if you're not sure when your recycles go out or when your garbage goes out, because this month there's a number of holidays and closing of the offices, and that will coincide with your garbage and your collection of the different materials from your home. So please look at your calendar and don't just depend on your neighbor, because they may be wrong. Okay.
Maria, or you can say also the webpage if you don't have a calendar.
Oh, if you don't have a calendar, go to the webpage, and that's on, and it's also, I think, on our.
Under calendar, yeah.
Yeah. So just don't depend on your neighbors, because they may steer you wrong. They've steered me wrong a couple times, so now I just use my calendar and just look it up. It's easy enough, and it's very accurate. This past Sunday, I was with the Environmental Protection Committee with the members there, and Gene Hoffman was a gentleman there, and a lot of the volunteers from town, and some volunteers from out of town. I believe there were 16 or 18 folks that came out on a Sunday morning when it was kind of raining, and we have a program that we call, Town Litter, Clean It Up, and we cleaned the entire Wanacue Avenue, down the roadways, on the alleys, and behind the stores. We did the whole section of just that town, about 2 hours. We were finished around 11:45. We really had a very good day. We had a lot of children. Parents brought their children, and the kids had a great time. I had a couple of those grabbers where you kind of squeeze and you pick up, and the kids just had a ball with that. All the parents loved it. And basically what we realized is that there seems to be a lot of cigarette butts and gum wrappers and things like that. But wasn't too bad. But there was a lot of things that seemed to be flying out of the garbage cans. That's kind of what we all decided that was a big problem. And some of the garbage cans are put on those grates. They're on the grates. And what happens is, I guess when the wind comes, it flies into the grates, and then it kind of sticks there. So we also realized that we have some beautiful alleyways that you can actually access to the pond hole for parking, but it's not an inviting walkway. It needs a little TLC, some paint. So our chairman, Steve Begg, we are going to talk to the bid about some of our findings on this. And we gave them recommendations. I've already given recommendations. So at their next meeting, we're going to suggest that they come up with, some of our recommendations for just very light painting, things like that, to be more inviting for the downtown, folks. So we're very, very happy to do that. And I want to thank DPW. They provided us the bags and the gloves. And everybody had a great time, and by the end of the day, we were pretty much soaking wet, but it was warm, so we didn't care. But it's always a good thing to have all our volunteers out there. And I thank them very, very much for their time. I also attended the Eileen Allen recognition ceremony. Yeah, Mayor was there. And that was a beautiful ceremony with all the kids and the hockey teams, the girls' hockey teams, the band, and it was wonderful with the superintendent, and she deserves that. And I think they have a beautiful plaque for her now, permanent plaque. I also attended the library, Friends of the Library event for the 110-year recognition of how long they've been in service to the town. And at the same time, I wore 2 hats that day. I am the vice president of the Pompton Lakes Women's Club. And Women's Club donated a beautiful bench to Dr. Frieschi. She was a lovely lady for many, many years that ran the library, and we gave her a nice bench, and that was in her name. So, and I want to thank the library for all that they do. I also have deepest sympathies for Jane Karcher. I know her more from the bid and her store. Her store was a fascinating place to go in if you like people who repair electric vacuums. And it always fascinated me. That store is just classic. And I will miss her personally, and I know she will be missed in town for all that she's done. I also want to thank the veterans for the beautiful ceremony today. It's always touching. And the high school band and all the local officials who took part in that, as well as our residents. Thank you very much for honoring and thank you, Bill and Eric, for your dedication and donation to the military in all your service. I also want to congratulate Jennifer and Bill. I look forward to working with you both next year. And they were the right people to have here, sitting up here. It's my opinion, and I think that voters agreed with that. But I do also want to thank all of the candidates, because it is very difficult and it is very hard to run in any type of an election like that and to lose. I've never lost. I hope I don't lose, but it is very hard. And I met one of the candidates last night after the election, and they were, visually upset. And I said, that's okay. You do a good job, you try, and that's it. So I want to thank them for just coming out and trying, because otherwise we wouldn't have our elections the way we have them. So I want to thank them for that. And Mayor, just so you know, I did have a resident reach out to me as council regarding rent control in the town. I said we don't have rent control, as far as I know. I don't know if that's something that we are going to be looking into.
The county does. The county has a rent control.
The county?
program, yes.
Okay, but we do not here.
The borough does not.
Okay, so they wanted to know if there was something
Right,
that,
if you speak to them again, I would tell them to contact the county to see if there's any help they can get from the county.
okay, I will do that. Okay, I promised her I'd bring it up with council meeting. Okay, and, thank you, that is my report.
Thank you, and thank you and your whole group for doing what you did in cleaning up the downtown. That is a big deal. I mean, our downtown does get quite dirty just because of the situation and the wind and everything else, so thank you for all that work. Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start by thanking the Pompton Lakes bid for the shred event. I was able to get rid of 2 large banker's boxes full of just bank documents and whatnot, so that was very helpful. I want to thank the folks for the recent donation to the Historic Commission. We recently received a musical instrument from the 1900s, a journal of meeting minutes from the Pompton Lakes Land Company, as well as letters from 1913 from members of the Woven Label Workers Local 760. So those are currently, I believe, stored. They were going to be put on display, I believe, outside in the lobby here within the next couple weeks. So thank you to Joan Suckow, Mary Rogers, and Deborah Ross, respectively, for those donations. I want to congratulate the Pompton Lakes field hockey team on a very successful season. They didn't make it to the finals, but it was exciting to watch the quarter and semifinal games. I also want to congratulate a group that's affiliated with the Girl Scouts called Steel Magnolias. They are a all-girl robotics team. My daughter was accepted. My older daughter, Katie, was accepted onto the team. It's a selective process. The girls interview all the prospective candidates, and it's quite competitive. They build a robot, and it's a challenge that multiple teams from across the state compete in. And there's a build team where they build the physical robot itself, and there's a programming team where they code the robot to do the various functions. And so this is a new world for me. I'd never attended a robotics meet or anything. It was pretty interesting. It was held at Hillsborough High School this past Sunday, and usually by this time of year, the kids don't even have a robot built, and a ton of teams didn't even had to back out of the event. But there were about 30 teams from around the state there, and we didn't do great, but we found what we needed to fix for the next meet, which is the day after, or the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So I'm looking forward to that. And after speaking with the coach, who's councilman in Riverdale, Dave Desai, he's one of the folks involved there. I'm going to start spending some time with my programming background as well as handy with tools here and there to help out. So I wish them luck and congratulate them on finishing their first week. And that is my report.
Thank you. That sounds exciting. New things to build. I forgot to mention, because we won't meet before November 19th, I will be presenting a proclamation to Christine Scotty, who will be turning 100, grew up in Pompton, has been in Pompton for most of those 100 years, and she'll be having a nice party at the Brownstone, and we'll be presenting her a nice proclamation from the borough.
Give me the information.
Yeah, she did get me the information. I just got the email today.
He came in the office today and he had a question, her son. They want to know if there's any data as to who's the oldest person in Pompton Lakes? And I was going to reach out to you, who's the oldest person? How many people have reached over 100? I don't think there's any.
I don't think we have any of that anywhere, right?
Locally,
No.
the census might, right? Mayor?
I know in the last year, I've done 3 for 100.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah. Which is in itself a feat, 3 people 100 years old in Pompton Lakes is amazing. But I don't know if we have any of that data. Well, we can look into it, maybe you guys can.
Well, I don't know if anybody on the historic, I know there's people on there that know a lot of history.
People who know people
Yes.
might know.
I guess people who are 100 would know that. Okay, thank you. Professional reports, any report?
Mayor, I just want to thank Councilman Cruz and the police chief for helping me put together that pond hole parking ordinance. And I want to congratulate Council President and Councilman Bay on your victories. I work with a lot of towns, and Pompton Lakes has the greatest sense of community of any town that I've worked for in 28 years. It's because of everyone on the side. You really represent the borough well, and obviously the people have recognized that. And that's it.
Thank you, and thank you for those nice words. And that means something when someone is dealing with other towns. And, I hear it from people all the time, and I think our administrator would actually echo that comment. People who are in other areas and then come to our town, I hear it all the time. I can't believe the volunteerism of the people in this town and the people who want to help. And you go to other towns and you just don't see that. And, I have friends that come from other towns every once in a while, and they say the people in Pompton are so friendly. They'll come over and talk to me and hang out, and they don't even know who I am. So that is what Pompton is about. That's what we are, and that's what we do. So I'm glad to hear that. Minister's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Absolutely. I echo what Mark said, and congratulations to our council president, Councilman Bay. It's a huge commitment that all of you make up here. I don't think the public realizes how much time. You probably give more time to this position than your full-time positions. It's 24/7. So thank you for what you're doing up there. I appreciate my position. I like being in the execution area and not up there. Anyway, I just want to let you know that the Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over grant will be submitted this Friday. It's $7,000. So during the holiday time, our police officers will be out there enforcing even more, because this money allows us to supplement income to put some overtime officers on. So please drive carefully during the holidays. The other thing, I just wanted to say a thank you to the name of the company is Projector Screen. Christine Jennings, who is a member of our flood advisory board, works for this company, and they so graciously donated 2 screens, one to be used for the CERT for presentations, which will be set up in the Civic Center by Al. Thank you, Al. And then the other screen will be used by the Recreation Department. So the total of that donation is $1,800. So thank you very much for that. Tonight you'll see on your agenda the acceptance and submission of our best practices. The best practices is the way, actually for all of you out there, it's an inventory that assesses the borough's compliance and operational standards and making sure that we are doing things the way we're supposed to. If we do not do them in the manner in which prescribed by state law and regulation, we will not get our 100% aid. You have to achieve a score of 24 or above. This borough has received a score of 34.5. So we are well in excess of what is expected, and we will get our 100% state aid for next year.
It's always a good thing.
Yes. And that's all my reports.
Any questions for the administrator?
I have a question. Any update on the library steps?
I sent it over to Dan. Let me follow up. He said he was gonna put some gravel out there, so.
No, the library steps.
Oh, the library steps. I'm thinking of the little library. You know what? Funny you should say that. I did see Mr. Walker at the bid meeting. I mentioned it. I sent him another email. He was supposed to he told me he got the proposal for the railings, and he provided a date that it was gonna be done before the holiday stroll, so I will follow up with him again.
Yeah, I spoke to him. He's telling me December 1st it will be done. That's what he's told me, and we do really need it done by December 1st, because we have, the entrance for Santa is at those steps.
I'm going to find out if maybe there could be some support there. I don't know what.
If there's gonna be a problem, we need to know now, because
Yeah,
we have to
I'm
make
gonna
arrangements.
have to be a little bit more direct.
And he knows that, by the way, because the bid runs the event, so he knows that, but
Right.
it's a big change if
He
it,
may have a lot of obligations. I don't know his schedule.
so maybe just follow up, just to
Sure.
see, follow up, just see where we
Yeah.
are with that.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Motion to open meeting for public comment.
So moved.
Council President Polidori, Councilman Begg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Step up.
Randy Hitton, 443 Montclair Ave. I was told by the clerk not to be too wordy because she's very tired. So I'll try to make this short.
Is that all it takes?
That's all it takes.
Liz, you gotta say it every meeting.
Have come about fucking.
A while back, you had talked about the 2 footbridges that the county is going to be replacing. Obviously, it's going to be 2023, they're going to start this project. But I had brought up, and we talked about the Lambert Street footbridge over the Acid Brook. And you had mentioned that it was totally on the private property owner's property.
So there's an easement that it's totally on, yes.
Because I talked to that property owner, and she showed me the survey nails for her property, and one of the nails is right in the middle of the bridge. So part of that bridge is on her property, like you had said, and the other part is on the borough property. Have you been there to look at that bridge?
Yeah, there's actually an easement for that bridge. So whatever piece is on her property, there's an easement that either her or the previous owner was taking care of, but it follows with the house.
And did you see the bridge? What did you think of the
It needs to be
condition?
painted, it looks like to me. I mean, that's the
Or
first thing.
repaired or replaced?
I didn't see repair as much as painted, but it needs to be painted.
It's not in good shape.
We could have Dan take a look at it, maybe Paula, just take a look at it.
If DPW can, or the building inspector could check it out?
Yeah, we could do that.
It looks to me that it could be replaced.
Well, you are a carpenter, so maybe, you know?
I was, not anymore. I do have other things to talk about, but she's giving me the evil eye.
I only knew.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank
You
you.
too, Randy.
Anyone else from the public like to address? I see a young girl in the back. Would she like to talk? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public session? So moved. Councilman
Second.
Blind, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Privilege of the floor? Any privilege of the floor?
Yes,
That-
I'd just like to send my condolences to the Jane Karcher family. I had only been with her at the Chamber of Commerce meeting a short time ago. It's sad to hear that she's gone.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Joel Lennon, Councilman Cruz. Thank you, everyone. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Randy.